All right, guys. Hey, it's Josh Hogan with BlindBook here. I wanted to walk you through a pretty cool demo of what we are doing and adding for our clubs and our outfitters. So, an outfitter, somebody who is running a business of waterfowl operations, and this is expanding to other hunting types too. We'll have that in the coming months, like upland and other things like that. If you're down in Texas, hogs or gators. We'll be adding that in as well. What you're seeing here is two things that connect together. We call the website our command center. The command center is basically a web-based way that if you're sitting in front of a computer, maybe rectifying some of your business at night or something like that, you can use that. But you also have just about all the same features here on your mobile app. So what's interesting is that it knows who you are and where you are. You can have multiple modes. If some of you guys just want a classic just hunter experience, you may just be wanting to record your own hunts. You may be a club manager. So a club in this case may be a closed or private club. You may be a member of a club. You may be a guide. And you may be an outfitter, somebody who's running an actual outfit. So you can manage different organizations and different roles. It's very cool. We have up here our little hamburger menu of different things that you can access, which is very similar to what you see here on the left-hand side. So something that's kind of cool to show off today is our bookings and payments capability. So a lot of our clubs have things like a schedule or a calendar, so I can show that to you very quickly. Let's see if I can find it over here too. So the idea is that, you may have just sort of managed hunts that you just want to block off. And this isn't really a booking feature as much as it just is a, maybe we've got a group hunt coming up and I just want to block the place and let everybody know about it. It's going to be an all-day hunt. I can add, if I've got members in the system, I can actually add those members to the hunt, schedule it, and now I know if somebody's coming in, and if I'm a club or if I've got some fixed days that I'm not selling, I just want to kind of block them off, I've got it right here. We have this other thing just called event. So this might be, like a seasonal kickoff dinner, or it could be, Josh, the guide, is on vacation, so maybe this is just something where I'm saying, okay, I can't book this guy for the next week, and oops, let's see, I don't need to put any time in here. I have to validate the date, because it's got to be a date in the future, of course. And so you can also keep things like events, and you can keep hunts in here as well. From that hunt, you can actually log a hunt, which is kind of cool. So you can actually go right ahead and log what happened at that hunt. Oh, sorry, this is a demo environment, but things are not always perfect. But effectively, you're logging a date in the past. You're putting your blind and everything in there. I can try and do it over here. Let's see and say, let's schedule a hunt. You can do that, or you can go right here and you can log the hunt. So I think because I don't have the database set up here, you can't see everything, but like this would pull things like, different locations that you hunted from, things like that. So let's go back to booking. And you'll see from booking, like we said before, you can add new bookings, you can assign, locations if you would like to with capacities. You can assign guides if you'd like to. You could see, the different people that you would add. And then you can even add a payment type, which is nice. So, if I'm looking at, talking to somebody, we've negotiated a package. At some point, they'll be able to do this directly on their own. But we know right now, outfitters, a lot of them like to still manage this themselves, but we're just making it a lot easier. So you could choose a package. We have the ability to set up what we call packages. So you can set that up any way you want. But, in this case, it's very simple. My package is $2,000, the maximum of 3 guests. So I do that. It's an active package. Now when somebody wants to book, I can simply say, okay, I want to book during these dates. Looks like those are kind of full. Certain days need attention, or maybe they're booked already. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to say it's a multi-day book. Maybe I'll actually identify a location where there's capacity managed, or you don't have to do that at all. Maybe you don't know where they're going to be and you want to assign that later. Maybe there's a guide. You can see what their availability is. Go in here and search for your guests. You can add more guests. You can set a price. In this case, I did not set a package. So if I set a package, that automatically fills that in, and I can say whether I've, which way I've received it. Now, this is a manual payment tracking system. This is sort of the basic tracking system, and we'll get to it in a second what that means. So now I'm managing all my booking right here. You can see the information. I can update it myself manually. I can add things like guests. I can update payment information. But really, the real power here is in our payments platform. So I can get there here just to follow along. And you have the ability to manage all of your payments. So we're working on this. This should be live soon. But you've got things like a collection capability, an invoice capability, an expense capability, which some people really like this. One of the things that we added to our expense capability, if I could pull it up, is, let's see, where is it? I'm going to add an expense. Maybe it's for ammunition. Give it the information. When you create this ledger here, you can actually go, and maybe I'm having a bug right now, but you should be able to go and actually add a receipt to this. Here, let me pull this. Yeah. So I can actually upload and go find a receipt, put that in here, and you've just uploaded that receipt. So maybe I need to fix this window a little bit so it doesn't collapse, but that can be rejected. You could actually ask for more information if you need on it, but it's a good way of being able to track all of your expenses in one place. Profit and loss report. So a lot of people don't actually know what their annual revenue and their expenses are, what their profit is, what their bookings were. And if you're running a business, we think that this is really important information that you should have. So if you can keep and run this stuff here, that will help you significantly manage that. And you'll have the ability to export this into other places like QuickBooks if you want to, things like that. You have a client management section that talks about who's been paid or who's paid or not paid. You can go over to the client section from there and actually see booking history from these customers. You can see if, for instance, they have a waiver in here. So we'll have the waivers attached here. But this is a pretty exciting place. And then you can even do things like connect to Stripe and actually select what the payment capabilities are. So this is the super powerful thing, is that if you do connect to Stripe, and we have the ability, if you have a Stripe account, we can connect you through there. You manage your money. We're just passing it through. And we can walk you through setting up a Stripe account, but effectively it's just a money broker. People can pay with all forms of cash, or I should say with their bank accounts, with credit cards, with Apple Pay, with Google Pay, and that will just process through this. And then you will be able to actually send and manage that all through here. So if you've got a booking that we established earlier, this is where you can say, okay, I want to collect here. I'm going to do it through Wire or Stripe. Give it a reference number, give it some more information, and you can send things like a payment link here. So you can just record a payment if you've got this, receive this manually or in some other way, or you can send a link directly to somebody and say, hey, pay me this way. So is this my deposit? Is this my balance? I give the email. And when I do that, it basically just sends directly an email right to your participant, and they get it and they pay it, and it comes all the way through your Stripe system, and it comes right back into here where you can see all the payments made, completed, refunded, things like that. So a pretty cool setup. And what's even cooler is that, like, you may just be in the field and you want to do that all from here. You can do the same thing. So from the phone, you can actually go and manage each of these different payments. So you could do it manually if you want to, or you can actually go through and let's see if I can see it here. I don't know if it's here, but you can actually also receive and process electronic payments here as well. So still working on some of this, but pretty cool stuff here. Like we said, it's got receipt capture. It's got expenses, payments, collections. This is a really important part of just understanding your business and how it operates. Being able to do this from your phone or from from the command center itself really allows you to keep and contain all of your information about your operations here. Some other things we may not have shown you are things like to-dos. So, this is a great way of being able to track things like, repair or maintenance, water level checks, things like that, or it could be anything. You just name whatever you want here. Set a priority, set a due date for that thing. So this needs to have a drop-down box in it, but you get the idea. Let's see. Maybe choose a category and go ahead and create that task. And there you have it. You can see what's due, what's upcoming. You can actually assign it to other people. In this case, it was assigned to me because I was the one that set it up, but you could assign it to somebody else if you've got somebody else in your group that you can assign things to. And then they would receive a to-do notice. So when you come to the command center at the beginning, you'll have things like, blind performance, where your to-dos, what the activity is, who are the hunters in today, what are some of your weather information forecast. You'll have the ability to look at your property. And so this is a great place where you can go and actually, navigate across your different properties and, see those places. You can update them. You could put parcel and scouting and path information in here, how to get here. I mean, it's a fairly sophisticated pathway to blind setup. And then that will actually even filter through when I go to the phone. I'll be able to actually go and get direction here on the phone from where to go. On the phone, by the way, just a different way of managing your properties and locations. You can see it from a map, or you can see it directly from a list. And you can see everything from blinds to scouting points to pathways. So you choose a location. You can see the different blinds, brings you in there. You can add a scouting report if you'd like. You can navigate directly to it by clicking that. You'll use your map provider of choice will actually create a driving or a walking map to that actual spot. You can edit things and add things like capacities, what type of blind we're talking about. You can actually deactivate it if you want to rest it or it's down for maintenance. And then this is cool stuff because you can actually put in things like the direction things are facing, the food source that they're at, what the water depth is. And this all helps to serve you in terms of, like really good data. If you can record the stuff, you just lock it in one time. Now we can run reports that actually help, start giving you some I think meaty understanding of, let me see where my reports are. I don't have my reports right here. But you've got some meaty examples here of, of correlation between things like location and date and weather and, water levels and all that stuff. Another thing is our dog house. So you can actually go and you can add, you can add your dog in here, add the breed, the age, sex. You can assign it to a certain member, and then add a photo. I'm not sure if I have any photos here, but let's just pretend. And when I do that, then I can start logging activities for the dog. So, I can go ahead and actually select a date that we just hunted together. How many retrieves, how many misses, what are some, what are the best distance or longest distance. This is very basic. This will continue to improve, but it's just kind of a fun way of, keeping score and like looking at things later. You'll have reports to be able to see, how your dog did across these different capabilities. So we walked through properties, we walked through to-dos, we walked through schedule, we walked through clients, doghouse. I think we walked through payments a little bit, which is a pretty sophisticated system. Things like team management, where you can actually, manage the difference between who are the active team members. So as an outfitter, we call our guides a team, or people that work for us. But you may also have a club too. You may have invited people. Some people may be inactive, or what we call clients. And from there, by the way, you can actually invite somebody to be a customer or guide. So you just send in information, give it the phone number, choose the role, and then you can invite them directly, and it sends them an email. What else should I show you? Other things that are important, just details about the club and the organization. This is where we're going to have a section that we don't have in here right now called e-docs, where you can have waivers and licenses signed here. You can create multiple organizations. So you may be a club owner or an outfitter owner, and you want to add another one. You can do that there. So anyhow, it's a pretty cool system. We've gotten a lot of really good feedback so far. If anything, it's really sophisticated, and we don't expect people to use every piece of it, but we've got different customers that like different parts of it right there. So I think that covers, at a high level, the basics of Command Center for outfitters. It's really your all-in-one kind of one-stop shop to manage your hunting outfit, whether it's in the field from a mobile app, or it could be directly from the back of your computer when you're sitting down at night logging everything. So we think it's a really good system. We'd love you to use it and give us some more feedback. So thanks a lot for listening.